Good job.
Come on now.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Good evening. We are back again. Back again. Back again.
With a bang.
Today, we had some big games on the weekend there. Big games on the weekend there.
Yeah, man.
But we're excited to be back, and we wanna discuss the games like we normally do. We ask anybody who wants to call in. Guys, you can call in. You could give your opinion on the games, give your opinion on Oli. I know plenty of people have an opinion on Oli. But we do, we there, and we just wanna make this thing a nice conversation about the sports and stuff that we had this weekend, mainly about football, and that's how we're gonna take it. So, fellas, what is it? What are you saying?
Well, I there, man. Brady muted. I there, representing for Suka Strikers. This is one of our original jerseys, and if you see it, big up Suka Strikers one time. Yeah, man. But I good, man. The weekend didn't start off too well, but I'll accept the results. Because all teams dropped points, so we didn't fall too far behind. But
start off too well. It end well, you saying?
No, I didn't say it end well.
Oh,
I'm just saying it's an acceptable weekend, because all our neighbors and them drop points. So
the City had a big win. City had a big win.
Yeah. But remember, they had fallen behind earlier, so they catch up now. So everybody, all the big boys up there. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's some interesting results on the weekend, man. But I don't think any fans will come away happy. I mean,
Arsenal fans buzzing today.
Yeah, but
Arsenal. But you're talking about Arsenal on a winning streak, dog?
Yeah.
Winning streak.
Yeah. Cautious optimism. I would recommend for those fans. A good result nonetheless. Always good to beat a rival.
Very good. Very good. Confidence.
I mean, Spurs. I don't know. It's best when that game come up, Bezzy just get to Arsenal. I don't understand
it was bad. It was bad way. But anyways, so you want to start from the end and work our way back because we had quite a few important games early in the weekend. Quite a few big games. So how you want to approach it? You want to start from Saturday or?
I guess it depends, if you want to discuss the bad news first or the bad news last. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, let's talk about this first because I don't like that. I have to get that kind of negativity out of the way first, And I know a certain Liverpool fan has a lot to say.
He man smiling like nobody business.
I just don't understand. But anyways, we started Saturday with two big games. We had Chelsea versus Man City. Man City came out 1-0 victors over Chelsea. And we had Aston Villa beating Manchester United at Old Trafford 1-0. So, where to start?
Let's just keep going through the results. You can come back and
okay, all right.
I don't really want to talk about that, to be honest. But
we have to talk about it.
We will talk about it. All right. So then we had Everton versus Norwich. Everton beat Norwich 2-0. Leeds versus West Ham. West Ham came back from 1 goal down to win. Mikel Antonio with a 90th minute winner, 2-1. Leicester drew with Burnley 2-2. Jamie Vardy had 3 goals in that game, believe it or not. Watford drew Newcastle 1-1. Brentford drew Liverpool 3-3. Wolves beat Southampton this morning 1-0. And Arsenal beat Tottenham 3-1 this afternoon.
Yes. So Arsenal fans, he was giving all the fire when the season started and Arteta was under the cosh. And all of a sudden now things just turn on right now in a winning streak. So we want the Arsenal fans to call in, man, and
call in.
Ronnie and Shane and them fellas there that was calling and Ting. Call in and give us all your opinion on all your coach. What are you thinking about the size they pick in and everything? I know Shane have a lot of big opinion on a lot of that stuff. So call in, guys. Don't Don't feel any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to put your video on, you can just leave your audio and and give your opinion. All right. This show is for you to give your opinion on sports, just like we give in our opinion. None of us there went to England and played professional. We just love the game. So everybody entitled to their opinion. So we want you guys to give it. All right. So let's start with this start. No, we won't. All right. First game is Chelsea City, man.
Yeah, let's start with that one.
All you see that game, all you predicted that game, and the outcome, was it something that you guys kind of saw?
I actually predicted a 0. I thought that game would draw. I saw a 0-0 draw playing out.
Yeah.
All right. But then when Tuchel decided to change up his usual tactics, instead of going with his 2 holding mids and 2 kind of creative players off of Lukaku, he went with Timo Werner up there.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, I wasn't really paying attention to that game. I had other priorities, like yelling at my TV, but yeah, but then it's a good victory for City. I feel like Pep has been under pressure in terms of getting getting the results after his quote unquote row with the fans.
Yeah.
And the
what do you think about that? What do you think? I don't think we spoke about that yet. That whole situation with Pep and him basically calling out the fans. What do you think about that?
We'll talk about that afterwards. Right? Let me give my thoughts on the game.
All right.
First things first, I was speaking to a Chelsea fan the other day, and I said to them, all you need Werner to win that game. Because towards the back end of last season, Chelsea played City maybe 3 times in the space of a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And every time, we see Tuchel tactics, is kind of sit back, soak up the City pressure, and then hit them on the break, and you need Werner pace for that. So I said they need Werner to win. Not that I thought they will win, but it looked like the manager thought the same thing. He wanted the pace of Werner, to catch City as the counter. But I find the approach was poor.
Right.
City lacking a center forward, but City is still City. And when you let City have all the ball, they're going to turn chances out. Mm-hmm. And eventually they'll find a way through. I find Chelsea just, especially this and the second half, let City just take over the game, like 70% of the ball. Then City find a break away through, and then that's when Chelsea want to turn this screw on and try and, get back at them. And at that point, now City getting chances the other way. I think Thomas Tuchel kind of let himself down with his tactics a bit, man. Yeah. I
start to think that there's a trend with the big managers. I don't know if that's always how it was, but to me, I don't understand why a lot of the big managers, they play not to lose and they're not trying to win the game. I don't understand that. Like Chelsea has just as good players as City. I understand it's a different system, but their players are just as good. So why don't they take the game to City? Right, especially City not having a striker, right? Who City have that going to stretch the field for them? Yeah. Right, Jesus may be the only person, right? And he himself really not that quick anyway. I just kind of feel like a lot of the big managers are setting up not to lose, man, and they're not trying to win the games.
But I don't see why he would even change the way he play, because he already playing 3 at the back. That means you have cover for whoever playing up top for City. City doesn't necessarily play with 2 strikers, so you have basically 3 defenders
for one
player, and then 1 on each side to basically cover the wing when the wing back gone, right? And then in your midfield, you have Jorginho or whoever is. I don't remember who he started, right? You have those 2 sitting midfielders basically to engage City midfield, and then one of either the 2 wider players for Chelsea to drop back and pick up the 3rd City player. So I don't understand.
They tweaked the system a little bit, where before they would have the 2 midfielders, and then they would have the 2 more creative midfielders and then 1 striker. But this game they play 3 across the middle and 2 up top.
Right. I don't see why he would change it.
But he needed to change that, because if he's going to play how he played the last couple of games, where he's gonna try to play on the counter, he needs pace. I'm not saying Lukaku is slow, but at the same time, You need
Well,
somebody that could really
nice
outpace and drive down in the channels, and you know what I mean?
Right.
yeah, well, that's true. But at the same time, I feel like you giving when you change your tactics that way, you're basically saying, okay, come at me. Right? So he basically settled for counter-attacking football.
But that's why he had success with the last 3 times they played.
That is true. That is true.
And he knows
But-
City Pep not gonna change his style.
But at the same time, he strengthened his team. In my opinion, Chelsea is a stronger team than they were last year because of Lukaku.
Yeah.
Right? But then if you go away from how you play now to cater to Lukaku, and now you cater into Werner on the counter attack, then
Lukaku was on the pitch, but he didn't have a sniff.
But,
All good.
and is that kind of lends to the old adage that Lukaku is a flat track bully.
Right.
If you guys know if anybody don't know what that means, that's a cricket term, right? Flat track bully is a cricket term for guys who score runs against the weak teams. But when they play the good teams, they can't score the runs. So Lukaku score a bunch of goals against the teams that are not at the top, but he always seems to struggle against the top teams.
I will point out that a couple of weeks ago at Anfield, he also didn't have a sniff.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
stop living in the past, bro.
no, just saying, the trend analysis.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't say, I don't know if I would call him, a major flat track bully, but Lukaku don't have a good record against the better teams.
At least in England.
In England, yeah. And to me, even when he plays for Belgium and they play, the top teams in the world, I don't see him, taking the game on by the scruff of the neck, and you know what I'm saying.
Well,
so yeah, maybe that whole adage is has a little bit of truth to it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ariel, let's talk about the game now, everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about the other 7:30 game. I'll start off.
Brad start. Because I have quite a bit to say.
Well, I mean, I have a lot to say as well, but as a Liverpool fan, I should leave some more of the analysis to you guys. But what I will say is that Manchester United has a really good squad, one of the best squads in the league, but I don't find that the team has a good balance, and they don't have a manager capable of finding that balance. People say, we don't have control in the midfield and this and that, and we get overrun by Aston Villa. I personally do not feel that. The style of players, like the way Bruno plays and the way Pogba plays, the way that they play football, you're not going to have control over midfield. Unless it's like a really weak team. Because they tend to try a lot of passes forward.
Risky passes,
yes. At every opportunity. So the ball going to keep coming back down at you. Unless you make it a point of duty to say, guys, let's keep possession and let's work the play up to the final third. And you know what I mean? So that's all I'll say for now. I'll turn it over to Carol.
All right, where to start? I don't want to say Ole out.
Ole out, my brother.
But we need something needs to change, right? Fred and McTominay in that midfield against John McGinn, Fred McTominay and Bruno. I'll include Bruno in that. John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, and whoever it was the other midfielder was, got outworked, right? For me, if you're in that engine room, you have to work hard. It's not necessarily running about if you we like just running for running's sake, right? But there was no direction in terms of when we pressing the ball, who needs to carry the ball, how we going to play the ball forward. Because every time Bruno got the ball, he looks up, he sees Greenwood making a run, and for my part, for what I see from the game, Bruno did a good job of finding Greenwood, right? But then at the same time, when Greenwood get the ball in those positions, he's not looking to play a pass. I counted 5 or 6 occasions. Greenwood caught inside on his left foot, and instead of playing the cross, he try and look for a shot. And then the ball come right back at us, right? We have Cristiano Ronaldo, who is arguably one of the best headers of the ball ever.
No, but that's unarguable. He's one of the best.
Well, there we go, right?
Yep.
And then we have Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who gets into the edge of the 18-yard box on the right wing, right? The ball is being played back to him. And instead of trying to cross the ball in, he keeps playing it back to McTominay. McTominay receives the ball in a position to cross the ball on that same play and not crossing the ball. Right?
Right.
I understand that as a player, sometimes you may not feel confident in certain things. But if you have a system and a way of doing things that you work on in practice and in training, and you have the space to do it, and you're not doing it, something is wrong behind the scenes. And I wouldn't put it on the players. Right? And I always say we do have a style of play.
Yep.
When we're in possession of the ball, we look like headless chickens. Right? We pass the ball side to side. We get one pass to Bruno or Pogba, and then we try and play a long ball. I don't know.
I mean, my thing is that there's obviously, and there's obviously a big problem at United when it comes to guidance. We've Manchester United has produced some of the best young players in the world, over the past 10, 15, 20, 30 years, whatever, right? But a key aspect of being a good player versus a great player is decision making, right? And you could, like when Ronaldo joined United, you could tell the difference, right? When he went from being dribblosity Ronaldo to final product Ronaldo, right? Mm-hmm. So he started knowing how to play the game more intelligently, right? And it kind of seems like Ole, or the coaching staff, I would say, because he has Mike Phelan, he has Carrick, he has Kieran McKenna and all those guys. It seems like those guys we just have good players. We have really good players. And it's sort of like they're just sending the guys out there and telling them, hey, you guys good enough to beat any team. So just go ahead and do your thing, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. With no plan as to, well, hey, if the ball goes here, you should maybe do this. If the ball goes here, you should do that. Because, for example, like what you're talking about, I saw it so many times. Greenwood got the ball a few times. And Ronaldo, even when Cavani got in the game, Ronaldo, Cavani, Pogba in the middle, three guys who could head the ball, who could attack the ball, and Greenwood just keep shooting the ball. It's the same problem Rashford, when Rashford first started playing, he was doing the same thing, mm-hmm. right? He would try to take some impossible shots where sometimes you would just want him to cross the ball. And it's almost like as if, how can we be seeing these things as spectators and as fans of the game, right? And people who are getting paid millions of dollars to analyze these things. I cannot believe that Rashford or Greenwood hasn't been put in front of a TV screen and said, listen, this is what in this situation you should be looking to do, right?
Right.
To me, I mean, at that level, the game is not the game is difficult, but it's not that difficult for those guys, right? Those guys can make the crosses. They can do. But it's almost like everybody at United, and it's been that way for years, is trying to be the superstar. Nobody wants to be the guy that sacrifices for the team. Nobody wants to be the guy that does all the running. Nobody wants to be the guy that doesn't really care about assists and goals. It seems like everybody wants to score goals. Everybody wants to do assists, mm-hmm. and it's really hurting the team, because even Bruno, right? I see sometimes Bruno get the ball, and just like Brad was saying, just to recycle the ball, keep it. He tries an impossible pass, and then the ball coming back to us, and he running back on defense, right? And it's just certain things. I just feel like Ole doesn't have the command to me. I feel the guys like him, right? Mm-hmm. The players like mm-hmm. him, but in terms of respect, him being like the manager, where, for example, like a Klopp or Guardiola or even a Tuchel, them fellas will go and shout after a player and tell him what they're doing. I don't see Ole doing that. I don't see Ole doing that.
He doesn't command he doesn't demand the respect.
We losing a game against West Ham during the week, and Ole on the sideline laughing. Like, what about that is funny? Like, I don't understand.
Like even teams lower in the league, like a Sean Dyche and these guys, you will see them rip their players apart during the game when they do something wrong. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shout behind them. Some of them, even as brave, if they see something going wrong, make a brave decision to hook somebody, change something. Ole, look, I feel like it's the culture. I don't know if he's responsible for it, but it's like a box office culture. We have big players, mm-hmm. a big club, we make plenty money, we can make big signings.
And we don't have to work hard.
Football philosophy no longer there. Like as a team, mm-hmm. you have really good players, so now and then something exciting will happen. Bruno will make a very good pass, Ronaldo will finish it.
something will come off.
The philosophy, you're not seeing the football. You're not seeing the football developing. You're not seeing the team fellas getting to know their teammates, what runs they're making, and you know what I mean. Like you watch City. I watch in City and half the time I don't know where players playing. Bernardo in the midfield, then you're in the wing, and everybody know what they're doing.
Yep.
Full back stuck in, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what
even
the thing is,
even West Ham having sequences of play, and you can see it's something that they work on, you know. Right?
I mean,
winger,
I look at
midfield, other midfield, center forward, winger, is sequences of play that you work on, like things that you expect to be happening.
Oh
right?
Boy, we have body.
But we don't have that, right? Yeah, let body in. But there was All for Each Marketing made a comment there about don't cry about the shooting, right? That's how Ronaldo scored his first shot. I understand that. I agree. But that was a high percentage shot.
Right.
When Greenwood cut in across with 4 players in front of him, blocking the way to goal, and he's trying to shoot. And you have Ronaldo one-on-one in the back post against a shorter or against anybody. Put the ball up there for Ronaldo. That's all.
You see, the other thing, you will have coaches with young players and they'll get so much praise in the media, and the coach will come in and say, well, he has a lot to learn, so whatever. Ole is the one. If the media put him up, Ole put him further. Sometimes we have to bring these guys back down.
Bring them back down to there, man. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Glenn Bean joining the call there. Our resident Burmese best.
Big up, buddy.
Oh, he connecting.
He connecting, man.
Yeah, man.
Buddy, you there? On mute.
Buddy, you on mute.
Boy, the Arsenal fans excited, man. Like so excited.
I can't understand that.
Unmute the call now. Boy.
I can't understand that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I just sort of wonder. Where is the because I mean that's something I would think that you need in a locker room, right? You need the vets, right? So right now that's kind of like what I was hoping, right? Varane, Ronaldo, them guys came and sort of like start holding those young guys responsible and telling them like, listen, we need more from you because they can do more, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can.
Somebody should be true in Greenwood the second and first time he do that.
Of course, right? Of course.
But no,
and then the big one of the biggest things I see with Ole is it seems that he plays favorites a lot, right? Where a player, let's say McTominay or Fred or any one of those players who's one of his favorites, they will be having a terrible game, and he refuses to sub them. He refuses to sub them. Martial. When you played against West Ham, Jesse Lingard was maybe one of the biggest offensive threats we had on the field. And he subs Jesse Lingard and he keeps Martial on the field. And Martial doing absolutely nothing for 60, 70 minutes. I do not get it.
And then at the end of the game, he's saying Martial have to do more.
I mean, you have to send a message to those guys. If Martial not doing his job, hook him after 25, 30 minutes.
I feel like, as well you say, it's a bit of favoritism there because, we have underperforming players in the midfield like Fred, and we don't really hear comments from Ole regarding Fred have to do more and Fred not doing enough.
None of that.
Fred just continue to play every game, start every game like he's one of the best players in the team. No criticism.
Brother, left to me, I start in Matic every game over them too,
But even that, right, Carol? Matic, this season Matic old. But Matic played very well against West Ham, during the week.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
And then you play a game and next game and you drop the man. Like, I don't understand. How are players supposed to get form? How are they supposed to gain confidence when they cannot play 2-3 games in a row? I mean, Wan-Bissaka we paid 50 million pounds for Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka not even trying to cross the ball. Like, come on.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's a bit unfair to players trying to break into the team like Van der Beek, where you constantly only giving them opportunities with the B team, where it's not going to be as cohesive. And then fans at least using that as a crutch to say, well, you see, you're not very good because look at nonsense you're doing. But you play in a team with players that just throw together for a cup game. You know what I mean?
Buddy, you muted or no? Talk to us.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on,
buddy?
Buddy, what's up, man? Big win today. Big win today for the Arsenal.
You know that. Big things. Always a derby match. Big things happen. Saying Tottenham's day is back.
So what was your thoughts on that particular game?
Well, yeah, we started off shaky in the beginning, but once we scored our first goal, I kind of settled us down a bit. Got a little lucky on the second one because could have been a foul. You know, it was a soft one, but
Yeah.
we hit him real quick. And then when we hit him again, I was like, oh, this is lovely. This is what we needed. Bang.
Yeah, man. So what
But
are you?
as a whole, I was telling guys before, like, you know, and you heard in the chat, I always say is wait to have my full team before I judge, really, you know, because our coach, his new, he's getting rid of some of the dead wood that was there. So I said, wait till unfortunately, we had injuries and COVID as it started of the season. We, you know, Brentford, they beat us, but then we played Chelsea and City, you know what I mean, before underscore. So the fact of the matter is, if I didn't have my strong squad, I could say, okay, well, maybe Arteta's been doing the wrong things, but he didn't have his, you know, he didn't have the squad. Yeah. Now he had his full team. That was kind of like the team he wants to play anyway. It had a lot of balance. You know, Xhaka, even though I don't like Xhaka too much, but he still brings balance to our team because he does the dirty side of the match. And Partey was allowed to just do what he wanted to do, you know, control the midfield. So, you know, it's coming along. And Ramsdale's been a good find for us. And our right back, you know, the Japanese guy is, Tomiyasu been a dream. Definitely upgrade from Bellerin, trust me. Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad you touched on Xhaka, man. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like he's been. I mean, he had his issues, you know, for his jersey and because of the fans and so forth and so on. But what do you think? Do you think he's a good fit in that midfield, or you should start looking somewhere else for another player to replace him?
But what I think is right. If you look at Arsenal's team, they're 23, like it's our average age, right? Mm-hmm. So you have a few senior players, like Lacazette, Aubameyang, Jacques is one of them. So you need that experience. He must be good in the dressing room. I say it all the time. He must have a presence in the dressing room where the players respect him and, you know, the coach respects him, because you can see even the players respect him. Yeah. The players were like, even Ramsdale was like, it's nice to have Xhaka back and whatnot. So obviously he has some type of influence. I think that he gives 100% of his ability. It might not be that good of an ability, but it's his ability. You know,
understandable.
But he gives 100.
He gives 100%. That's what you need. You know, you need people that are willing to give 100%.
Yeah. And he would. Remember, the coach had him playing center back for us at one point.
Yeah. I feel like Xhaka is a player. When Arsenal is playing well, he plays well. When they're playing poorly, he's out of it.
He's out of it. And he just makes some rash decisions sometimes. You know what I mean? So but as I said, I don't mind him too much as long as he just does what he does. Like today, he was good today for us. You know what I mean? But he just did what he had to do. We didn't talk too much about him. When you don't hear his name too much, that means he's playing pretty good.
Right. Makes sense, man.
Yeah. But as a whole, I think our team's coming together.
Nice. Any other games from the weekend caught your eye? What's your opinion on any of the other games?
Well, the results, not necessarily the games, but the results, obviously. Even the Brentford-Liverpool match, like, you know, I expected Liverpool, once they got ahead, to use their experience, because they are an experienced team, to see it out. I expected them to see it out, but it didn't happen that way. Well, that's why the Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world, you know. And I tell people it's not technical. It's the excitement. Anybody can beat anybody on a given day. If you don't come correct on that day, you can get beaten.
Oh yes.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Our Liverpool game, you know, when we went up ahead 2-1 and 3-2, especially 3-2, we get 2 or 3 very good chances to score 1-on-1. We really should have put that game to bed.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's a lack of experience. I would say it's just poor game management. You know, we have a captain on the pitch. He's supposed to look at Salah and say, like, yo, why are you trying to chip? Slot that ball home. Let's seal that game, get a 2-goal lead, and bring it home.
Well, that's why I said I thought Liverpool would have it, because they had the experience. Usually experienced players would do that. They would dispatch it and say, let's end it now, rather than keep the team in the match.
Yep.
But these type of things sometimes are good to give you a little wake-up call to say, you know, listen, we have to turn the screw and make sure we put those games to bed.
And then Man City had a pretty good performance this week, because everybody was counting them out. They was, saying, "Oh, City's done, they're finished." No Aguero to come in. They got Jesus playing as a winger. Pep's lost the plot, but they dominated Chelsea. Like if you watch the game,
they
Chelsea was dominated. Like Lukaku was giving the ball away because he was tired of chasing.
Yeah,
that's basically what happened. But they showed that they're still going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I mean, defending champs, you can't discount the defending champs. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to dethrone them, right?
Yeah.
So that's all part of it.
Let's hope it stays in the radar of the same city,
Hey, boy, maybe let's take it easy there, my brother.
Let's take it easy. Let's take it easy, brother.
Yeah, all right, man, buddy. Yeah, man. Thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, no worries, buddy. Hey, big up Gunners.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so Brad, we start talking about the Liverpool game there. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, we started the game very shaky. Brentford was lumping air balls into the box like crazy. I guess from the analysis, they realized we have trouble defending those. Although Matip and Virgil usually are our best defenders in terms of defending air balls, but for some reason, because Brentford had two strikers up top, whenever they have two up top, one person seemed to always be free, and that was Mbeumo. And once he pick up the ball, and this guy Tony, I don't know, he's good. Very good with his head. Whenever he get that ball to land on his head, he had it exactly where he wanted to go. And we were struggling with that. But I mean, I always fancy Liverpool to have a little bit more in the tank to score goals. And so said, so done. We get a couple goals, we get ahead, and then we just decide, we in the lead. We try in chips, we try in fancy flicks and things, and next thing you know, in typical fashion, we concede. But I think on another day we would have won that game, but it was tough. The balls into the box. It was tough.
I feel like even I didn't watch the whole game, but the parts of it I think I watched. I saw when you guys conceded the second or the third goal, and even to me feel like Virgil was a little hesitant, like to attack the ball, and there was one instance where I can't remember who scored it. I think it was his second goal, and he was a little hesitant and he lost the first ball or something, and they scored off of it. But I don't know, man. I feel like playing away from home in the Premier League, especially to a team like Brentford, again, coming down to coaching, right? Them guys know exactly what they have to do. Them guys know what their limitations are. They know that when they play these big teams, they have to give 150%, and they give it. And to them, and what I liked about them is even when the Liverpool scored, it never felt like they got discouraged to say, well, like, we can't score. Like, they just figure like, yo, we just gonna keep going.
We let them stay in the game.
Going. Yep.
Well,
Salah got that one-on-one, and Salah try and chip that.
Yeah.
Cost me fantasy points.
Virgil is a guy. Watch Virgil play. I can analyze his play a lot since he come back from injury, and even years before. And I noticed Virgil is a guy very particular about the type of balls he really go barge in for. A lot of times he'll try and cover and he'll point to somebody else. I don't know why he does the things that he does, but a lot of times he'll pick and choose the balls that he go and barge in to head away. I don't know why, what he using as his decision maker, but in this particular game with two up top, we really struggle. Matip never run that much in his life, chasing players.
Yeah, well, even in all your midfield too, they were falling up inside there. So
midfield too, yeah. I feel like we didn't really have a player that. Like we didn't have a player that really has the knack of running with the ball. Like if we had a Naby Keita or Thiago in there, we would have been a little better off. There are players that keep the ball, dribble out of tight spaces and stuff. Henderson, Fabinho, for all their talents, that's not really their game. Mm-hmm. And Curtis Jones was very good though.
Yeah,
he was very nice. He was our best midfield player too. I think
got subbed off during his celebration.
Right. We should have kept him on the pitch.
Yeah.
We saw on Firmino for him, and I'm not really sure. I mean, during that period, we really should have scored, but I wasn't sure what the game plan was at that point. But
I think that was the plan to get that goal, that 2-goal cushion.
Yeah, we should have.
That's what it seemed like to me.
But on the balance of the play, I don't feel discouraged. It felt like a loss just because we were up. But I feel good going forward. Barring injuries, that we're in good shape. And Salah going from strength to strength. You know, that man is just a goal scorer, inevitable. Every game he look like he's gonna put one in the net or two.
Yep. You'll get every game he look like he'll at least get a couple good chances to score.
Yeah.
Most of the time he put them away.
Man, the form is a bit worrying though, man. I just don't know.
And Salah, Salah playing also a lot less selfish.
He passing the ball a lot more this season. I noticed.
Last season, certain things I see, certain things I see him take on. I was just like, no.
And Jota seemed to be, I don't know, Jota is the shortest player I see who score in the majority of his goals with his head. And they seem to score headers.
He's very good at finding space.
Yeah.
Very good at finding space.
That header he scored was not an easy header, you know, because the defender was literally right in front of him. You know, to concentrate, you know, to concentrate on the ball and head it to exactly where he wanted to go.
Because most of the defender miss it like that to put you off.
Yep. It wasn't an easy finish at all.
Well, you know, Liverpool, we have good players, Liverpool Productions, you know, so we're doing our thing. We're chugging along. Brentford was a little blip, you know, next week. We have a big one coming up next week. So that was a good, you know, that was a good run with Brentford there to give us a little bit of pep in our step going into the next week against City.
Liverpool versus City, boy.
Yeah.
I have a prediction there, but I'll leave it to the end of the show. not for that game, you know, but then something else. All right. So what's the next game we're going to the Karen?
We can talk about the Leeds game, the West Ham United game. Mikel Antonio is back if a bang.
Points.
Leeds dominated that game and then they conceded 2 goals.
And they couldn't get the second goal.
Yeah.
You know, but that's about it for the fixtures. I mean, Jamie Vardy scored 1 goal and then ended up scoring 2.
Yep.
We talk about Arsenal with Body, but let's touch on that a little bit. So let's talk about it. Kind of look like Harry Kane. I don't know, man. It kind of look like he's just not interested. He's not motivated. He's not. I don't know.
I find Kane playing okay. You know, Kane. The narrative is there, but I don't think Kane doing anything differently to what he normally does. The problem is the midfield is not cohesive. I don't know what.
Sorry, Brad. The coach is getting it wrong.
In what way?
His team selection, right?
Yeah, I agree.
He should
be on the bench.
For now.
Who's that?
Dele Alli.
Oh,
right. They were playing a 4-2-3-1. I think when they beat City first game, they play a 4-2-3-1, right? And Højbjerg and the other midfielder were pushing up. Right now, that man have them sitting right in front of the defensive line and giving other teams the freedom of midfield.
Yeah. Højbjerg today was playing as a central defender.
Yeah, and then basically he have Dele Alli supposed to be playing 10 or in the number 10 role, but Dele Alli sticking out on the right side. Harry Kane on the left side and Son down the middle.
It's weird because you'll see players like Lucas Moura who you associate with making runs down the wing, and he ended up being deeper than Kane in a lot of situations. You wondering like what position he really played. Exactly. In midfield. I would think Bergwijn is injured.
Yeah.
Bergwijn? Oh.
So,
yeah.
I think it kind of comes back to sometimes the managers not knowing or just making the game more difficult than it is, right? You have players who, you know, their abilities to make runs in behind, use their pace, you know, whatever. Like just let the players put the players in the best position to perform and to use the skills that they have. I mean, again, I keep going back to Ole.
Doing it not working out too well for Ole when you do that.
No, but what I'm saying is, yes, I understand that. What I'm saying is, even if Ole, right, you have Pogba, you have Bruno, right? I mean, similar type players. Bruno may be more offensive minded, meaning more selfish, willing to take shots and trying to score goals and that kind of stuff. But both of those guys are guys who can pick very good passes, very, very good passes of the ball and stuff, right? To me, I never see Ole get to a point where he says, okay, for example, last year we had Lindelof and Maguire in defense. And everybody thought, well, you know what? We needed a defender with some more pace, which is why Ole kept playing, you know, two midfielders holding, right? And Varane has played every game, and he still keep playing the same team. He's still playing the two guys holding, right? And like I just don't understand where is the in-game, where is the plan B? Because it is, and again, this comes down to management, It's not just tactics, right? When Ole comes in the media, Ole says something like, oh, he won the league to put us to start games down 1-0, right? I mean, what are you really saying?
Exactly.
Are you saying you're not able to motivate your players like to start the games, quickly? Because we don't have to always go down 1-0 to try and come back, right? Because look what happened the last couple of games. We go down and we can't come back.
Can't come back.
Right? And go in and complain about penalties and what club say and what club do say and all of those kind of nonsense. Like, concentrate on your team, right? And try to manage the people that you have, right? Even the whole Pogba situation. In my opinion, I would have told Pogba this summer, I would have told him, listen, you either sign a new contract, I'm selling you. That's it. Make up your mind. Because I'm not going to go plan my entire season around you and then come, who's to say, your mind not there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to know that you have everybody buying in, man.
Yep.
Everybody have to be buying in, and it's too much. It's sort of like a friend thing, and even when, some of the former players like Rio said some stuff. I know Roy Keane said some stuff, and Ole like coming back in the media, jumping back at them, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need constructive criticism, right? Everybody not gonna say Ole is the best.
I don't expect a manager to go in the media and slay his players, but when pundits make their analysis, Ole shouldn't be coming in a press conference and giving any rebuttal. Do you talking on the pitch?
Amen.
Show on the pitch that is not true. That what they're saying and do better. You know what I mean? Like you're responding to Ferdinand about stuff he said on his podcast. Like you shouldn't be listening to that stuff. You should be on the training ground figuring out how to make the best of the squad that you have.
Yep.
I hate how we play now.
A manager should never be afraid to shout after a player and tell them nonsense they're doing. Only sit down comfortable watching the game. Pep does be sweating me. Club shouting behind fellas, club calling fellas and thing on the sideline. Yep. And always just sit down, only looking like in the sunken place.
always.
I have a headache, forget about that.
I'm not a United fan, so obviously I want Ole to stay. But I've been watching football a long time. A lot of people I know watching football a long time. It's clear to see. He's not terrible, but to get to that next level, you need better.
He's not good enough.
He's not there. Yep.
You're not good enough.
Better.
I like him in terms of the impact that he's had. We are definitely in a better place than we were previously.
Yes.
Right?
The
transition, yes. But
I feel like Ole will be a good person to have on your coaching staff, not as the lead guy. Not as the lead guy. Maybe a head of recruiting or something like that. But
even that, right? His backroom staff also has a lot to do with it, right? You have guys like Kieran McKenna and Michael Carrick, who may not necessarily be the most experienced guys. Mick Phelan is there, but as far as I see it, Mick is let me not say he's a dinosaur.
Do these guys feel empowered to challenge Ole on anything? I mean, we're not privy to these things, but it doesn't seem
right. But I agree with that, right? But then I don't know if any of them what kind of philosophy, what kind of football do we want to play? We're not playing any kind of good football, and that what annoy me the most, right?
Losing a game is part of sports.
Yeah,
you're not gonna win every game, but
the performances.
Right? But it's the performance,
man. I mean,
you have to work hard. Regardless of how talented you are, you have to work hard.
Last week against West Ham, let's be honest. Let's take away potential penalties and what should have and shouldn't have been. All escape.
Yeah,
bro. The only game this season that we've won that we actually was Leeds. That's it. Every other game that we've won has been luck. Simple. Yeah. It hasn't been because we dominated or because we created more chance. It's really just because we've been lucky.
All the next league games in England, next league game is Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham, City, Chelsea, Arsenal.
So now that you bring that up, I'm going to make my prediction right now. I'm going to tell you. Ole is gone by December. I am telling you right now.
I don't know, dude. I feel like the big games, he always find a way to pull out a performance.
Ole is gone by December. I'm telling you right now. Remember I said that everybody on that thing there, right?
They wouldn't fire him. They wouldn't fire him.
They will fire him when we eat a knife in the table. I'm telling you.
Oh, you wouldn't fall that far, man. But it's a tough run. It's a tough run coming up.
It's a tough run coming up.
And the thing is, I feel all you seem to struggle against everybody.
But Brad,
bro, every single team that plays us, especially when we play at home, dominates the ball. Every single team, which I do not understand. We played. What was it? Remember the second game last year? We played Brighton. Boy, Brighton players of the packing.
I know Bruno's a fan favorite, and I know what the numbers he put up last year. But in terms of playing football and winning football, somebody need to pull Bruno aside and say, listen, less of that. Work it up to the final third, then you can try that killer pass. But that does mean picking up the ball half and just spinning around, just playing it. I mean, yeah, you are at home, but you're playing a Villa West Ham.
I understand on the counter attack, yes. Right?
Yeah.
You put up your head and is 3 against 3 or 2 against 3. Nobody closing it down. You have the space and you have the runners, yes. But if your whole team, you just finish defend an attack, your whole team basically behind the ball. They give you the ball. You're not giving your team a chance to step up.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody want to slow it down. Nobody want to keep possession. Nobody want to control the tempo of the game.
And
we don't have that in our team, you know.
For every team, for especially Spurs, when you play at a pedestrian pace and the other team, like today, Spurs was playing at a pedestrian pace and Arsenal come out the gates flying. You could have the best players in the world, you're going to struggle.
Oh, yes.
You're going to struggle. If you're getting outworked in midfield and out hustle, you're going to struggle.
That is it. And that is always what happening to us.
I mean, why is he saying hard work beats talent every time?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Right? I mean, you talking about you can have the best players and that's the thing, right? You listen to people talk about Cristiano, right? And what makes Cristiano great? What makes him great? A lot of players there are a lot of players, like think of Ricardo Quaresma. Those guys were more talented than Cristiano.
Yeah.
Right? But Cristiano is a hard worker, right? Eat right, work
on his craft.
Practice, right? Stay after thing, right? After practice. You hear all these stories, right? And that's what makes the guy great. He was really talented, but he put in the work, right? Which is what frustrates me about people like Martial and even Pogba. Like those guys seem like they just love, they like football. They don't love it. They don't want to be.
I feel like players,
the guy. They just like being mentioned.
Players like Martial and like even Lacazette to a certain extent. Although Lacazette works really hard off the ball, I feel like the offensive play it a little too prissy. Like they could consider the pretty side of the game. You could hustle and nick a ball off somebody's ankle and get like look at Salah goal today. And the ball does take a ricochet and he pressure the ball and he get a goal. Like a goal is a goal, It always have to be a nice 1-2 and a pretty finesse into the top corner. You know what I mean? Goals is goals.
I mean, look at a man like Van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy used to score so many crappy goals.
Yeah.
Just being in the box, just scrapping. You know what I'm saying?
I watch other teams and I watch wingers and I watch Sancho and I really appreciate the talent of Salah, the execution of that man. When the man pick up like his touch from a diagonal pass.
Oh yes.
And and what he decided to do with the ball. It's crazy.
But Brad, I think that comes down to in a way confidence, Salah knows that when he gets the ball, he knows the fear that the defenders already have of him. And before he even gets the ball, I remember Paul Scholes said that one time. As a player, before you get the ball, you should already know what you want to do with it, right? When Salah get the ball, Salah already know when he get the ball, he running at you.
Yeah.
Right? So he already know he can dead it. Because I see that man dead some crossfield ball already. Just dead it. Yeah. Once that dead, that man just attacking the fullback. He not waiting. You know what I'm saying? Put under pressure. And these are the things that I just wonder. How can we, who are people who are not paid to be pundits and coaches and things, see these things? And these people getting paid to see it. And Or maybe they printing it out and the guys just don't care.
We have a different camera angle, man.
Wait, maybe
Like I see,
maybe co-op camera, everybody else playing
I know Sancho new to the league and he's still finding his feet and so, but at the very least, you play in a wide area. I want to see you at least putting unsettling a fullback. You know what I mean? Having backtrack a little bit.
No,
a square pass is not always the best option.
So my issue with Sancho is now, from what I've seen, every time he receives the ball, he receives it either right on the edge of the 18-yard box on the wing, right? And the other team already set. So he have one defender facing him and then a midfielder coming to support. Yes, I understand you can try and take them on, but if you're unsuccessful, they recover in the ball. You're not in a position to say, well, all right, even if they recover the ball, we're in a position to put them under pressure again.
Right, but that coming to what Brad's saying there, right?
Exactly.
Like, because that's what Liverpool does a lot, right? You pass the ball to one side, boom, they're going to switch to the other side. Now you have Salah isolated with a defender, right? Get the ball to the attacker as early as possible.
Exactly.
Right?
And I understand
give him space.
Right, and sometimes that's what Bruno tries to do. But at the same time, Bruno looking for the assist and not necessarily the pass to the assist.
Yep.
You know, so
there were times when they put some nice balls in the channel for Greenwood, and there was one particular part in the first half where he caught inside, and Ronaldo was literally standing at the penalty spot, and he go for the far post and shoot. That should have been a goal. Yep. And that's the difference between wins and losses in the Premier League, you know.
Oh yes.
Yep.
And the thing is,
it's the decisions we make, man.
But look at part of the time, thanks for giving Salah his praise. But the thing is, that partner telling me that I think he's not a real Liverpool fan. He used to be a Arsenal fan, he's a Liverpool fan. Them fellas, yeah. I don't want to call your name, you know, my partner, but you know, I just give you your fire, but it's all right. But anyway, so yeah, man. I mean, this weekend was good. I mean, we lost, but like Kerry saying, we didn't fall too far behind the pack, you know, because Liverpool gave up 2 points, and Chelsea lost.
Well, I wouldn't feel too good about it because on that particular weekend, or you play Villa, we play Brentford, but there might be a weekend where you play Brentford and we win or you lose to Brentford. So
that's true.
28 games in a season, I would just feel bad I drop points and not feel any comfort in the other teams drop because we don't all play the same team.
But just that when you look at the table, you know what I'm saying we're not 3 points behind,
right,
1 point
but
behind.
At the same time, I'd like to watch the table before the 10th game. After the 10th game, the table will start taking shit.
It might be a little shaky for you that run of games.
Yes,
exactly. About that 10th game then. I carry.
No, you watching
last year after the 10th game, we was good and City just going like a 20-something game streak.
That's last year. Stop living in the past.
All right. Well, I have no faith in Ole in my brother. None, zero.
Nah, honestly, the past couple games, like I was on the fence. Right, I don't want to see him go. I like the dynamic, but something has to change. Something has to change. Right.
Well, I always ask United fans every time I talk to them, when Rashford comes back, who goes to the bench? And they're telling me, oh, Fred has to go down, Pogba has to go in midfield. It will not happen, guys. It will not happen. As much as you want
Greenwood goes to the bench.
Pogba will not be playing in a midfield 2 away from home against a team, a quote-unquote good team. It's not going to happen unless the manager change. So
well, Greenwood, I mean, based on the last game he had there, Greenwood started the season very well. I mean, he had a bad game, but based on that last game he had there, you know, that wasn't too good. But right now, what I do like, though, is when Rashford does come back, which is what it should be, is there's going to be competition for places. Mm-hmm. When you get a chance to play, you have to play well. But the problem is, Ole, back to Ole again, Ole does not reward guys, right? Van der Beek has been at the club for 1.5 years, and the man has not gotten 2 or 3 games in a row to play. He has not played
played a full Premier League game.
Yes, I don't think so. He hasn't played with the first team. He keeps playing with the B team, and even when he plays with the B team, you could see Van der Beek is a different type of midfielder to the ones that we have in our team. Mm-hmm. And Ole just doesn't seem to rate him. He doesn't seem to rate him, right? Maybe because he doesn't try skills and flicks and tricks.
Well, Manchester United doesn't have any talented youngsters coming through the academy that at least they could have popped into the team against West Ham. And like if you're gonna lose to West Ham, you might as well bleed your youngsters. You might as well.
Let me tell you, They have a few youngsters. Hannibal Mejbri is one of them.
I feel like
Highly
you're lacking a real box-to-box midfielder. Van der Beek is not one, contrary to popular belief.
They let that guy go, on loan. What's his name? Ethan Laird or something like that. He played a couple of games for the first team last year in the cup and in at the very end of the season, the very last game. Yeah, we have youngsters, capable youngsters coming through, but it's just if Van der Beek, who is Van der Beek, in the first team and cannot get played, it's not them youngsters that can get played.
Yep.
That is it. It's just that is the long and short of it.
Yeah. So my partner there in the chat there, I see his name, Devon Debon. You said me last night you come and talk about cricket. Come on. Let's talk about the IPL, man. I watched RCB win today there. RCB beat what team they beat today now? I forgot the name. Oh man. Who they beat today? The Mumbai Indians they beat today, man. They beat Kyron Pollard and them guys. IPL. You have a bunch of West Indian players playing there. You have Hetmeyer, you have Gale, you have Bravo, you have Pollard, you have Russell. And then the cricket, the 2020 World Cup is coming up. 2020 World Cup is coming up, guys. So cricket is a thing that we're going to get a little bit more into. But the next thing I want to touch on there is FIFA. FIFA is out tomorrow.
For early access.
Early access
if you have
EA
Play, you get access to the game from tomorrow.
And this is a call to all the Dominican fellas now that want to talk their crap there now. We ready for you, just now. Get used to the Xbox, to the PlayStation vibes, and we're ready for you. So pretty soon when we come back on, we'll be putting our club name and all that stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? For the pro clubs. And anybody who plays Ultimate Team, we would like to have these discussions and stuff, talk a little bit about FIFA and, what we think about the game and all that stuff. If anybody watches NFL, I used to watch NFL religiously before, not so much anymore. Right now, I don't have time. I have to pick and choose what sports I can watch. I don't have time to watch everything. So, yeah. So, fellas, all the fellas going to start watching the IPL, what do you say?
Huh? Yeah, I watch a little thing. I can watch a little.
IPL playing on ESPN,
I've browsed on it occasionally, periodically, but I'm a fan of cricket, especially the 2020 format. So
yeah,
I watch a little thing. If it's Test cricket, you're gonna have to excuse me on that one. I cannot do it.
I don't have 5 days to it. Sorry.
But my brother, calm down. All right.
I don't mind it
for the Test cricket. I don't mind it, purists, man.
I don't mind it.
Test cricket is for the purists.
Yeah.
The last
back in the goals today, fellas.
The last Test match I watched, I think, was when Larry did 400. That's it.
What? That was in 2004.
Okay, exactly.
2004. But
maybe even before that.
Cricket is a beautiful game, for people who don't know it, they say it boring and all that, but I'm a cricket guy, I love my cricket.
Yeah, but it's
So what is the plan now, fellas? We going to Qatar for the World Cup, all you saying?
No, we're not supporting them thing there, man.
Nah.
You're not supporting them thing?
Very, very inhumane labor practices with the building stadium. Multiple workers died. We're not gonna go over there and spend money and support them kind of thing. We'll watch on TV and support our teams, but
if you watch on TV, support it.
First of all, the whole process was allegedly corrupt in terms of awarding them.
They say the same thing about America getting it in 2026.
The stadiums, the country's too hot in the summer to host the World Cup, but they've been awarded a summer World Cup, then moving it to the winter. It's a bit crazy.
All of those things there, we can touch on. We can touch on all of those things there because all those things affect the world of sport. Yeah. The biggest thing that happened this weekend too is again Anthony Joshua take his second loss. Second loss as the world heavyweight champion.
I'm not gonna lie. I support him as a young black athlete. I want to see him do well, but I feel like he was a bit too confident. And I know that's the persona you have to put out there as a boxer, and you cannot go out there and say I might lose. But I just feel like some of the comments he come out and say, especially in the aftermath of like the Fury failed fight and stuff, he was ripe for upset. I wouldn't consider that an upset.
For somebody that talking so much, you can't be losing like that, man. I mean, come on.
You know, in boxing, it's a sport you lose once, two, a couple times.
That's it.
You know, you're not big box office anymore.
Yep. Man, right now they're saying that the Fury fight that they were planning to do is off the cards because right now, you know, they were saying that fight was a $200 million fight. No, not gonna make them kind of money.
Yeah.
And he asking for a rematch, but from what I'm hearing, the guy they're thinking that Wolf is wild, which is crazy.
Right? That's how dominant it was.
Yep.
And it just so happened.
I look for a replay of that fight.
It just so happened that match took place in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That place is just taking L's.
It's just a bunch of L's, boy.
But you know, we'll sort it. But if it's one manager I would give time in that Premier League this is no, because he just come there with the Hurricane hoopla. Preseason was interrupted, blah blah blah. Give him a chance. I think he'll do well, man. At Wolves he was decent.
My partner said, Mobsy, them 5 West Indian players for me.
Well, let's see that there.
Brad John Baptist.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man. But anyway, fellas, you know, thanks for tuning in again. You know, was another episode.
You wanna do the predictions, or we do the predictions offline?
Predictions for what? Champions League?
Oh yeah, this week is
Champions League this week, yeah.
Champions League.
Guys, Champions League for some clubs, I know a lot of some fans, their team win today, they're excited, but next weekend again, we'll come back to all in the week. Give the chance to the players that their team play anything. Give fans a chance. Even Thursday, all you used to
somebody
play.
Say, if you played on Thursday, you can really involve yourself in the competition.
Yeah, yesterday Liverpool playing Brentford, and a lot of fans from a certain club messaging me and say, yeah, all you laugh us when we beat Brentford, when we lose to Brentford, no Brentford doing that. When you see big teams playing, Champions League teams, give us a chance. And then afterwards, all you have all the time, right? Or you're not in Europe, wrestle yourself during the week. And on the weekend we'll talk, right?
Oh man. on that note, I signed it off.
Look, Roger.
Anyway, we like the banter, guys. We like the banter. You know what I'm saying? We have a WhatsApp group, and trust me, we'll be ranting and reviewing when our team doing cushion in there. You know, but you know, it's all obviously everything in a respectful manner. You know what I'm saying? Everything in a respectful manner and stuff. But you know, sometimes you just can't forget when people talk crap and you know something.
Yeah, man. And you know, you have to kind of be humble. If your team not really up there doing things, you have to kind of bide your time. The opportunity will come for the banter, but you can't be in the bottom of the table telling fellas see talking. That. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rest yourself still.
But I have to say, boy, our partner Tammy Abraham doing good in Italy, boy.
Yeah, he's doing well. Arsenal fans didn't want him. They say anybody but Tammy.
Yeah, they wanted a 25 goal a season striker, Papa.
Yeah.
Watch him get 25 this season in Italy.
Brad said
Brentford must be united.
Brad, I agree, you know. I agree. Let them talk.
Brad, put some money on that.
Who talk?
No,
Brad John Baptist.
Put
some money on that.
Because Liverpool draw Brentford.
No, I don't worry about who all you draw to. You know. I worry about the points all you draw.
We're not with Brentford. Matter of fact, Brad, back my words. Brighton beating Arsenal next week. And then again. The young man in the comments say he on loan this season to another team. He not Arsenal this season. He say he on loan with Leicester.
Who is that?
John Baptist.
He on loan with Leicester.
Yeah, he on loan.
You don't try and terminate your loan yet. Your team
Leicester looking shaky. Yeah, Leicester looking shaky.
Yeah, man.
He's all right, man.
All right, so fellas, 50 US on the line. But let me tell you something. If you have more to for my brother, best you don't send to me no.
No, Brentford beating all you. Brentford beating us.
No, Brentford not beating us, my brother. I'm telling you right now.
But Varane have to wonder what he get himself into when them airballs are dropping into the box.
Nah, man, Maguire will be back, man.
Maguire, yeah, okay.
Yeah, man, but slap my brother.
Now we have time before that game, man. We have a tough run coming up, and then Chelsea have an easy run coming up, so hopefully they don't run away with it.
Well, Kerry, the thing with that league there, you don't have easy run.
Easy.
But as if you Chelsea do well in their first couple of games there, they play some big teams early, but you'd be surprised to see they go to them, some of them teams they've beating and drop points.
There are no easy
games. It's a mental thing, you know. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Ah, well.
Anyway, yes, everybody, thanks for tuning in. you know, we had the one caller tonight, and we had a lot of chatter on the chat and stuff. Like we always encourage you guys, you know, if you guys want to give your views, audio, video, you guys can jump on the Zoom. That's not a problem. You know, we want you guys to jump on. We want you guys to give your opinion. Like if all you guys listen to Talk Sport, like Clubby and them fellas there, and
Clubby is a delusional Liverpool.
You know,
Clubby is a madman. That's what Clubby is.
Or Jason Conde call the game today El Crapico.
El Crapico.
Right, yeah, so yeah, man. Normally, you know, we listen to the shows in England and we watch First Take and we watch what is the other one there? The one is Skip Bayless, man, on thing.
Oh, on Undisputed.
Undisputed and First Things First, all them kind of shows there. People giving their opinion on sports. So let's do the same one. Yeah. We can give our opinion and talk about the sports that we love watching and partaking in. Well, I used to partake in them right now. That's fun. But anyway, yes, fellas, have a good night.
Yeah, man.
And we'll see you guys